Last year, late in the season, we took one last trip up to Faucherie. And the second day there, we spent at the falls. I released a 60-second clip of that trip back then, but didn't ever finish the film, and so this is the final cut, the director's cut. What I found was, in reviewing this footage, I fell deeply into a meditation and the sound of the river. But of course, I'm getting ahead of myself. In order to get to the falls, you have to drive up to the lake, canoe across to this little cove where we leave the boats, and then climb up another, about 150 feet up the mountain along Canyon Creek to the upper falls. This spectacular location is in the Tahoe National Forest along Canyon Creek, which was raging in this season in full flood. The dogs managed, as did we, make our way to the falls. I had never seen the river this high, the falls raging this hard. We kept stopping to photograph. Canyon Creek is a major tributary to the South Yuba watershed. It starts up at Lake Baltimore at about 7,100 feet, flows down to French Lake, then Faucherie, then Sawmill, then Bowman, and drops another 3,000 feet to join the South Yuba River far below. It's one of the crown jewels of the high country. We are just below French Lake and just above Faucherie, here at the upper falls. The creek was rushing so high, so cold, and so strong that it was actually a bit gnarly to get across. We were not properly equipped and couldn't do quite as much exploring as we normally would have. So we gave up and eventually just set up a picnic site right next to this awesome and powerful place we call the Fountain of the Gods. Being in the presence of such power is a bit daunting. The natural forces that can just sweep a human away in the blink of an eye. The density of the vibrations and the cold wind and the mist in the air that makes every breath something spectacular. The video does not capture the intensity. A few of us decided to ford the creek just below the falls, get across to the other side to explore. We lost the drone over there, so I had to go over to find it, but I didn't have proper waterproofing equipment for my camera, so I was afraid to take it across. So I don't have footage of that side, except from when we climbed up to the high promontory. I was able to look across, and I can show you it was just a sea of rivulets. It was worth the risk to get over there. But, as I say, a bit of an adventure. sound of the raging river was so intense we actually did have to yell to get each other's attention or stand very close to have a conversation. It was as if the sound and the vibration was pulsing and pounding every cell of your body, massaging you from the inside out, flushing out all the toxins. We were gallivanting in the fields of the gods. When the water is this high, there is no organized stream bed for the waterfall really to go down. It just sort of washes and splashes out, flooding across the rocks and boulders and making hundreds of rivulets, joining the main stream. It's a bracing landscape. We spend the day letting it get into our bones. The runoff is more a flood than a river, washing out over the landscape in no defined course, making islands out of boulders. This rugged, high Sierra landscape filled with boulders and scree, pine and incense cedar, berries and wildflowers. This is a realm of mountain lion and brown bear and golden eagle. We are guests here, simple visitors, only able to come in a very narrow band of a few months of the season. The rest of the time it is inaccessible. Seeing it so raging and yet so warm is amazing. This is like spring when normally the track would be filled with snow. Now we were able to get access and see it this high. It's a special combination. I'm grateful to have been here. The relentless pounding is at first a lot to get used to, but then I find, like white noise, it saturates my senses and helps me drop into a flow state of meditation. A kind of Zen sensory surrender just washes through you and over you. And you stop thinking, and you're just in a place of being, at one with the landscape. The water, the stone, the ancient cedars. This country is subjected to immense seasonal forces, snows and avalanches and winds that can hurl a tree like a spear, baking hot summers, torrential floods. The sound itself grounds you into the landscape. As we scramble over the rocks and climb up to the high promontories, we become one with the space, the energy, the perpetual flowing motion. The sun is hotter up here, the air is thinner, colors are sharper and more distinct. Cannot climb like mountain goats, our bodies reverting back to their primordial youth as we harmonize with this Edenic landscape, scrambled from our picnic area as high as we can go. The young ones are brave enough to leap off the lower steps into the pools below when the river is not running quite so high. I just watch them and film. The vibration, the contrasts, this darkness draws us into itself. A mesmerizing vibration. It's actually hard to believe that such a place even exists. It looks so much like a movie set. Like a movie set wishes it could be. This is the real deal. The day winds away like the flowing water, time slipping by. The light fades, and as does our energy. We start to think about the return journey home. We never want to leave this place. Would you? Another hour slips by without our noticing. Well, the dogs have noticed, but the rest of us just go on yakking. We enter a timeless state of being where, like being near a singularity, time seems to stretch and a whole year goes by while other people outside this bubble live only a day. Friends arrive, the drone flies, the day fades, we are in heaven, time slips away. Be well, my friends.